Emma had always believed that every old object carried a story. That was why she spent nearly every weekend wandering through flea markets, searching for forgotten antiques. Some people collected jewelry or paintings. Emma collected old cameras. One rainy Saturday afternoon, she found a dusty Polaroid camera sitting alone on a wooden table. It looked worn but beautiful, its black leather peeling at the edges. The elderly vendor stared at her with tired eyes as she picked it up. "It's still working," he said quietly. Emma smiled. "Really? That's rare." The old man nodded, but his expression never changed. "Just remember one thing." She looked up. "Never take more than 7 pictures." Emma laughed, assuming he was trying to make the sale more interesting. "I'll keep that in mind." She paid the small price and walked away, never noticing the old man watching her disappear into the crowd. That evening, Emma invited her boyfriend Jake over to test the camera. "Smile," she laughed. The flash exploded across the room. A few seconds later, the photograph slowly developed. Jake stood exactly where he had been, but behind him stood a pale woman. She wore an old white dress. Her long black hair covered most of her face. Emma frowned. "Did someone walk behind you?" Jake looked confused. "No. We were alone." They both laughed, assuming the vintage camera had produced a strange double exposure. Emma placed the photo on the table and forgot about it. The next morning, curiosity got the better of her. She took another picture of Jake while he made coffee. Again, the image slowly appeared. Jake was smiling. The same woman stood behind him. Only this time she was closer. Emma's smile faded. She compared both photographs. There was no mistake. The mysterious woman had moved. Jake shrugged. "It's probably just an old camera glitch." Emma wanted to believe him. That afternoon, she photographed herself in the bedroom mirror. The picture developed. Emma stood in front of the mirror. Behind her, the woman was only a few feet away. Emma spun around instantly. The room was empty. A cold chill crawled across her skin. Over the next few days, Emma couldn't stop thinking about the photographs. She took another, then another. Every single picture showed the same ghostly woman. Every single time, she was getting closer. No one else could see her, not in real life, only inside the photographs. Emma stopped sleeping. She covered every mirror in the apartment. She began hearing soft footsteps at night. Sometimes she woke to the sound of breathing beside her bed. When she switched on the light, nothing was there. Jake begged her to throw the camera away. "It's messing with your head." But Emma wanted answers. She searched online for cameras matching its model. Nothing. Finally, she visited the city library and searched through decades of newspaper archives. Hours later, she found it. 28 years earlier, a famous wedding photographer had disappeared without a trace. The only thing police recovered was his Polaroid camera. His final photograph showed a smiling bride. Standing directly behind her was a woman in a white dress. The bride vanished the very next day. Emma's hands trembled. She kept reading. Over the following years, 6 more disappearances had been connected to the same camera. Every victim had taken exactly 7 photographs before vanishing forever. Emma froze. She counted the pictures she had already taken. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Only one photograph remained. Jake stared at the camera sitting on the kitchen table. "We destroy it." Emma slowly nodded. Jake grabbed a hammer. Just as he lifted it, the Polaroid camera flashed by itself. Neither of them had touched it. The empty film slot suddenly pushed out one final photograph. Emma hesitated before picking it up. The image slowly darkened. It showed both of them standing exactly where they were now. Jake looked terrified. Emma looked confused. Behind Emma, the pale woman rested one icy hand on her shoulder. A whisper echoed through the apartment. "Turn around." Emma's breathing stopped. Jake grabbed her arm. "Don't." Again the whisper came. "Turn around." The voice sounded closer, almost inside her ear. Emma couldn't resist. Slowly, she turned around. The kitchen was empty. Silence filled the apartment. Jake sighed with relief. Then he noticed something impossible. Emma was gone. She hadn't walked away. She hadn't screamed. She had simply disappeared. The Polaroid camera hit the floor with a loud crack. Police searched the apartment for hours. There were no signs of forced entry. No blood, no footprints, no evidence that Emma had ever left. Jake became the prime witness. No one believed his story. Weeks turned into months. Emma was officially declared missing. Jake locked the cursed camera inside a wooden box and buried it deep in his basement. He never spoke about it again. Nearly a year later, heavy rain flooded the basement. The old wooden box floated away unnoticed. A few days afterward, another flea market opened across town. Among dozens of forgotten antiques sat an old Polaroid camera with peeling black leather. A young college student picked it up with excitement. "This is beautiful," she smiled. The elderly vendor looked at her with tired eyes. "It's still working," she smiled. "Perfect." The old man handed her the camera. Then he quietly whispered, "Just remember one thing." She paused. "What?" He looked into her eyes. "Never take more than 7 pictures." The student laughed and walked away. As she disappeared into the crowd, the old man slowly looked down at a photograph hidden beneath the table. It showed every previous owner of the camera standing together. Each of them wore a frozen smile, and behind them all stood Emma, still smiling, still waiting for the next photograph.